People in Yucatan contracted the plague in 1571. One man discovered a plant, and he and other individuals drank it. The chemical turned the subjects blue and rendered them airless. They swiftly relocated to the ocean, where they founded the Tolokan civilization in the deep ocean. Kukulkan was born to one of the ladies who consumed the plant. The infant went on to become Tolokan's king. Fun requested to be buried on the land when she passed away. In order to reach the area where he spotted a civilization, Kukulkan led some guards up. In order to make way for his mother's burial, they attacked civilization. He was known as Namor by one of the locals, which is Arabic for the boy without affection. To help her brother and Wakanda's king, T'Challa, who is unwell and in need of a heart-shaped herb, Shuri works diligently in her lab. Ramonda announces the death of the king as she enters the lab gently. Wakanda is still having issues with other countries desiring its vibranium a year later. The Dora Milaje apprehend French soldiers who attempt to break into their position. Later, Ramonda discusses the French heist with the UN and makes the information public. She reminds the nations that they will continue to battle even without the Black Panther. A vibranium detector developed by MIT student Riri Williams is used by Americans at a mining outpost to mine in the ocean. They employ this method to locate vibranium in the sea. Suddenly, Talacanals assault them since they don't want them stealing their vibranium. Namor attacks and destroys the final helicopter of survivors. Ramonda and Shuri grieve the passing of T'Challa for a year beside the water in Wakanda. Although Shuri is not entirely prepared for this, they burn their burial robes to symbolize the end of the period of grief. Then Namor shows up, crossing the border while submerged in water. He tells them about Tolokan and asks for their assistance in stopping outsiders from stealing vibranium. Additionally, he explains that vibranium is found in Tolokan in addition to Wakanda. Concerned by his presence, Ramonda reprimands him. He says they can assist him, but they must not get in the way of his plans to assassinate the scientist who created the contraption. Shuri and Okoye visit Everett Ross, who provides them with the young scientist's name and whereabouts despite possibly disclosing sensitive information. Then, in order to locate Williams, Okoye and Shuri travel to Cambridge, Massachusetts. When they pursue her to her garage, she reveals that she is creating an Iron Man-style suit of armor. However, the FBI is keeping an eye on them. Williams escapes wearing her armor, Okoye escapes in a car, and Shuri escapes on a motorcycle. They unexpectedly run into Talacanals, Atuma, and Namora. After a brief battle, Williams and Shuri are taken prisoner. The following day, Ross shows in and meets with Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, his ex-wife. He also discovers and conceals Kimoyo beads. Okoye is fired from her post as general in Wakanda after Queen Ramonda chastises her for losing Shuri, which is made worse by earlier events like the time she appeared to support Killmonger when he took the throne. Williams and Shuri awaken in Tolokan. In an effort to persuade Shuri of his beliefs, Namor demonstrates the culture to her and even gives her his mother's jewelry. She rejects the idea of killing Williams, though. Ramonda, who had left Wakanda 6 years earlier, visits Nakia in Haiti in the meantime. She requests that Nakia locate Shuri for her. Nakia does some surveillance and determines the location. Williams and Shuri are subsequently separated from Ramonda while Ramonda discusses Namor's strategy with Namor. Returning to Wakanda only results in further suffering as Namor and his army invade. They flood the city, sparking all-out conflict. Before flooding the throne room where Ramonda and Williams are being held, Namor takes care of all the Wakandan vehicles. Ramonda swims to save Williams as she begins to drown. She succeeds in rescuing Williams, but only at the cost of her own drowning. As Namor informs Shuri that she is now queen, she laments the death of her mother. Then he and his group depart the nation. When Allegra de Fontaine learns that Ross has been speaking with Wakanda all along, she has him detained. After the burial, M'Baku speaks with Shuri and advises her morally not to murder Namor. After that, he promises to house any displaced Wakandans as a result of the attack. Shuri then fashions the fake heart-shaped herb, which ultimately succeeds, using Namor's mother's bracelet. After taking it, she enters the astral plane where Eric Killmonger welcomes her and asserts that they are identical. After some debate, Shuri declares she will murder Namor as retaliation. Shuri gets out of bed and puts on a suit. She then enters as the Black Panther into a conference between Baku and the Elders. In arrangement of the fight, Shuri and Williams understand that they could debilitate Namor by warming his body up to where it can't get oxygen. They then make a second Ironheart protection. Shuri gives Okoye a new shield, acting similar as Iron Man's 2, called the 12 p.m. Heavenly Messengers. Okoye initiates Annika to be separated of her two-lady group. In the sea, they utilize a vessel to draw the Talacanals into a snare. The fight initiates as Namor appears to acquire the upper hand. Be that as it may, Dark Puma traps him in an Imperial Claw contender as they move off from the fight. In the interim, the Dora Milaje battle the Talacanals on the vessel while the Jabari clan, Nakia, and the others fight the ones on top. Ironheart and the 12 p.m. Holy Messengers deal with the airborne Talacanals. Dark Puma warms up the illustrious Claw contender, debilitating Namor, yet he starts to break out with his lance. Dark Jaguar shoots an impact from her vibranium gloves which detonates the entire boat, sending the two enemies into the island underneath. The two battle some more until Namor spears Shuri. Be that as it may, rather than polishing her off, he is more stressed over getting to the water before he bites the dust. A harmed Dark Jaguar breaks free and gets before the limping Namor. She then shouts Wakanda until the end of time as she protections up, sending an impact from the detonating Claw Warrior into Namor. He is set burning as he implodes. She remains over him to polish him off, however recollects her sibling, Chala. With these recollections of the man he was, she chooses to save Namor's life the same length as he gets back to Talokan. Namor has appreciation for the Dark Puma and joins her as they return to the battle scene and advise everybody to quit battling. Dark Puma then, at that point, shouts Wakanda until the end of time indeed as the rest rehash it back. In the outcome, Williams gets back to MIT without her protection as the Wakandans need no discussion with letting her keep it. Shuri leaves for Haiti as opposed to trying for the privileged position, which at last is tested by Baku. Afterward, Namor paints in his room as Atuma welcomes him. Namor guarantees her that the new partnership with Wakanda will be gainful. En route to jail, Okoye breaks Ross out of care. Before heading to the beach in Haiti to burn her customary funeral robe and finally express her grief, Shuri meets Nakia there. In a scene during the middle of the credits, Shuri finds out that Nakia and Chala have a son named Toussaint, who Nakia has been raising covertly away from the demands of the monarchy. Toussaint discloses that Chala is his Wakandan name.